Day one of the Biden administration, Brantley leaves, but then he stays. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could be helping here, but no.
Is it playing?
If you put your headphones on, you'd find out. See what I work with, folks, or don't work. See what I work. See what I stand beside me that does nothing.
Good morning to you. We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces. 55 degrees in Victoria. That's what the Deerland Feed Store thermometer is saying to us. 55 and cloudy, heading to a high today of only 66 degrees. Every day, Ash, it says that the next day is going to be rainy, but then it's not.
Slight chance of rain today. I think that's it.
No, mine says no.
I saw 20%.
No rain. Well, yours is probably more accurate, but the one that I get from the Deerlands says, never fear, mere cloudiness here.
I don't know. It was drizzling with 2-4 when I left, so that counts as rain, I would think.
Correct.
Oh.
Is that a cupcake over there?
No, I don't know what it is.
Oh, no, we have moved in, folks. We're in the new studios here at Magic 95.9.
That's not going up anymore.
I just pulled it
Oh,
up,
did you?
made it work.
So
very excited to be here. It is interesting. There's that guy. You ever have that situation where you go, you had one job. You only had one job.
Every day with you, and you still don't do it.
That's not true. I wear so many hats. I wear so many hats for this team. Anyway, I have to beat the drum when you're at the plate. I've got so many jobs. Tell you what the next pitch is going to be. There's a countertop here. It looks heavy. Would you agree that this looks heavy? The countertop here, I just can't wait to hear the story from the guy who had one job, which was to move the countertop from the old Magic studio to our new spacious, palatial Laurent Tower location. And I get to looking at this rig, and it looks like a roadmap. There are cracks, and this thing fell into pieces. Oh, hey, easy there, cowboy. Into disarray. I'm talking about pieces. I don't know what happened, but I can't wait.
I don't either, but the story should be pretty good.
I mean, it's got to be, well, so I wasn't running, but because it is shattered. Those of you that have been our guests in studio are going to go, wow, nice. Good job.
It's probably similar to when I dumped all the flowers.
I'm wearing some Astros gear to celebrate the return of Michael Brantley. Those of you that don't like baseball, that's okay. It'll be very brief, but we should be set. Maldonado is still behind the plate. You've got more than one catcher.
Brantley in left.
And then, of course, you'll have
Tucker probably in center, Straw in right.
Straw.
Wow, those two I think can switch. Tucker in right, Straw in center.
But the ones that are locked down will be Gurriel at first, Altuve at second, Correa at short, Bregman at third, Brantley in left. When you can go into a season, that's 5 returners. Solid catcher, 6. The pitching staff, at worst, is probably better than it was last year. And at best, gets Justin Verlander back healthy.
Yeah. I mean, if they have a regular spring training, they go through everything, and I'm not sure they're as deep as they've been, so they got to avoid the injury bug. But I'm pretty sure
everybody does.
Yeah, but
nobody can say, but when you hurt, we're okay.
Yeah, but don't forget, we played a lot of seasons with 2/3 of Correa and managed to get the World Series and others, right?
Correct. And Correa, not only was he healthy,
chutzpah
in the playoffs, right? Hitting home runs, deep balls, lots of power.
But here's the difference. We had a healthy Correa all season, and we finished 2 games under 500 last year. Benefited from an expanded playoffs. and go to the ALCS for the fourth straight
Solid.
season.
Solid point.
So I'm going to go out on a limb. I think we can win the division. I don't believe we go back to the ALCS for the fifth straight year.
So we would play. So we'd be one of the 4 playoff teams and like lose to either the Yankees or Boston in the playoffs.
Or Cleveland or Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto got better.
You're such a Canadian.
Iceman, that was interesting because I texted you all dejected early
Yeah.
because I saw the headline.
From
Brantley
ESPN.
signs with Toronto.
Yeah, from ESPN. I mean, not just, it ain't like Wade Carter.
No.
It came from a credible source and said, hey, Brantley joins Springer in Toronto. And instead, he's back here pending a physical, which should be no
Yeah, I
big
mean,
deal.
I don't recall any issues last year physically, so he should be good.
No.
Iceman is in. Chris Conrad.
You have a hard time with that?
Yeah,
I
it's
should
just
use my hand as like a mouse pad.
I could probably bring this a little closer, maybe.
Here,
Let's get that out of the way.
let's do this. There's your mouse pad.
there we go.
There you go. Use that rig.
I don't have to bring this so close, and our YouTubers don't have to look up our nose hairs.
I have one of those rotary trimmers. Any of you gentlemen have one of those rotary nose hair trimmers? T-Lat buys
Hey, that
those.
works pretty good. That's a good call.
Yeah, that little rotary deal. Every now and then you'll be going, and like if the battery starts getting weak, because it runs on 1 AA.
Tangles one up.
When you first get it, it's like, and then all the little hair's gone in your nose. And all of a sudden one day you're in there and you go, and like out comes like a piece of a kidney.
Well, that's when you're stuffed up.
Yeah.
Chris Conrad, good morning. Bobby Leister checking in. We lost 691 YouTube.
Good riddance. I think Joe Biden left us.
Matt Boucher. Marie Day, good morning. Scott Tomko. Dieter Johnston says it's almost Friday. Yes, ma'am. We can't wait. Jeremy Payne is in Lavernia. Marvin Mickish, good morning. Alicia Zapata. She said, oh boy, this should be good. Boy, you're billing us.
Thank you, Alicia.
Yeah, thanks for the
if,
thanks for
you're
billing.
if you're on board with us, it will be good.
Karen Webb, good morning. BJ Nelson. Will we see the sunrise?
No, because
I
we're
hope we get
facing
to.
west. Although under
You'll see
Biden,
it come
it
up.
may be the
Yeah.
sun comes up in the west.
Diane Tippett, good morning. Kathleen Leininger. Judge Posey checking in. Monica Jost, good morning. David Glass, Patrick Strauss. Sheriff Louderback is in.
People are already asking for a countdown calendar until Biden's term is
Yeah.
over. Good morning.
Well, it
Judge
depends
Posey.
the actual 4-year term or the time that they decide he's no longer mentally capable to serve and they remove him.
I'm
from
going to
office
resign,
somehow.
Jack. Come on, man. I'm resigning. Joe Biden. I'm going to go back to the pool. Let the Secret Service play with the hair on my legs.
Morning, James Kerr. Morning, Johnny Houghton. Daniel White is in. Bob Watley. James Kerr says yesterday you could hear the radio all the way to Goliad.
There you go. And T-Lat is out there. T-Lat says she can hear us all the way to Inez, no problem. We're dangerous. You give us that much territory.
Lisa Poole, good morning. Bob Watley says, I hate the sound of back to our left is right. I'm not sure. I'm assuming
Right.
that's political.
It is.
Yeah.
He's correct, though.
Scott Snow, good morning. Christina Wise, Robert Bianchi checking in. Terry Murray, good
That's
morning.
back-to-back days for Bobby B. Good job, Bianchi. Right, just those 2 days alone provide an enlightenment level for your soul. We appreciate you checking in. Good morning, Judge Posey and Sheriff Louderback. We need to get the sheriff in here. We need to talk about what's
Jeremy
going
Levitt
on.
asked if that's a nose hair trimmer you received at a Rotary meeting.
Oh, but is it fair to all involved? Does it benefit the community? I'll tell you what,
Rob Moore Knipling.
that is the struggle is real. I mean, the ladies have their deal, where I can't imagine anything much more annoying than razor burn in your armpit. It's not good.
I would think razor burn in your nether regions might be a little bit.
Wait, people do that?
No, I don't, but
Okay.
some do.
Shoot. Do you manscape? Don't even answer that.
I won't.
They say
Plead the fifth.
that in unrelated news, if you in your backyard trim the bush around your deck will look bigger.
So if they say,
I've read that. I'll tell you this.
I think that was a whole bit by
It was so fantastic. It's so clean. And the
Foxworthy and those guys.
the only reason anybody could ever get offended is because they have a dirty mind. You know?
Yeah.
It's very, very funny. It's very, very well done. Yeah, the rotary nose hair trimmer, when both blades start pulling, one blade lifts and pulls and the other cuts. When they both start pulling and it sounds like a weed eater, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Let's see. Now, Mayor checking in. Stephen Kidder, good morning. Jeff Coleman says, howdy from Arkansas. Bobby Leister says he got about 2 miles to Yorktown and the radio signal faded.
Sweet. Good morning, Yorktown.
Adam Ritchie, the razor burn and the butt crack. I wouldn't know.
See, now there, right there, that's Adam Sugar. That was military humor. You get a buddy to do it for you. I guess. I don't know.
Earlier, would ask if we've seen the new underwear that has a cup for your boys. I don't think I've seen that one.
I haven't seen that.
Kiva Myers, good morning.
Robert Vietti, who doesn't want a big deck? Yeah, totally agree.
Yep, that's a pretty good one.
BJ Nelson appropriately says, stop.
Have you seen that sign from El Arroyo?
What does it say?
I thought just because you have a big nose doesn't mean you don't have to wear a mask. Still wear underwear. Something like that. It's pretty good. Their signs are classic.
That's nice.
So Brantley, I don't know if BJ Nelson's stopping from the innuendo or she's tired of the baseball talk.
Is what she's a fine lady.
Yeah.
She's
but
Brantley's good. Welcome back, Astros. I'm ready. Baseball is my signal that spring has sprung, and I am ready for baseball to
begin.
Come back into our lives. I think baseball is so American and such the fabric. Speaking of American, I mean, you got American football. You and I had, and we won't bore you folks with it, but Ash and I.
No, I think we need to discuss it. Phillip Rivers retired, and now
Ash and I are going to bore you now.
Now the discussion is whether or not he's a Hall of Famer. I think when you look at his numbers, yeah, I mean, close to 70,000 yards passing.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's there. 12 straight 4,000 passing yard seasons.
How about he comes off this year? You might want to look up Andy Dalton's numbers, but he comes off this year with 4,169 yards passing, 24 touchdowns against only 11 interceptions. He is certainly not the reason that the Colts are not still playing. And I look at it and say, well, in an era where you've got guys that are locked down Hall of Famers, you've got Aaron Rodgers, you've got Drew Brees, you've got Tom Brady. That I know there's more. I'm just making the point. These guys are for sure, no fail, Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers has the most passing yards, the most, I think, attempts, and the most TDs of any quarterback who didn't play in the Super Bowl or didn't win the Super Bowl. Sorry, I think he played in one and got beat. Am I right? Phillip Rivers played in one Super Bowl?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's that?
I don't know.
Jeremy Levitt says Rivers is a Hall of Famer. Come on, playing in San Diego, you got to give it to him. And there's some of that. We talked about that. He didn't get the accolades because he was playing in San Diego. Even the couple of seasons in the LA Chargers, formerly known as San Diego Chargers, not a lot of prime-time football viewing.
Right.
He
always had the numbers, though. Always had the numbers.
Well, and that to me kind of tells you how good he was because he really didn't have great talent around him. This isn't a team that was contending year in, year out. A lot of times they were struggling to reach 500.
Could be that criteria makes you a Hall of Fame broadcaster. You don't have much talent around you. Half the time, you weren't even contending. Here you are doing it by yourself in a team game. I think I would nominate you for Hall of Fame.
Adam Murphy says he goes in honorable mention Hall of Fame with Romo. I don't think Romo's even close to being Hall of Fame.
I don't think Romo's even close to Phillip Rivers in talent. Not even close. No.
And he's going to go coach a high school in Alabama. He's going to become the head football coach at private high school in Alabama.
Good for him.
Yeah. So
by all accounts, a nice guy. He's got like 9 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that makes him a nice guy. It means that at least his wife seems to be receptive. I mean, 9 kids.
There's a real Hall of Famer there. You got 9 kids while your husband's off every other week in another city working.
We assume that at least half of them are his. I asked T-Lac the other day, you want to have one more kid? She's still young enough to do it.
You're not.
She said that she was concerned about, grandpa raising the kids and that it might not be bouncing around on that big boat in the Sea of Cortez might not be good for a baby.
No. Well, when she says grandpa raising the kids, she actually means her dad raising the kids.
There you go. Adam Ritchie says Rivers is not a Hall of Famer. People are very emphatic. It's like, of course he's a Hall of Famer.
He's the only one.
But we talk about in baseball, it seems like the criteria is a lot more cut and dried. You go back to 80s, 90s. You just say Mike Schmidt, George Brett, Wade Boggs. Hall of Famers, third baseman. Nobody else even to talk about. But baseball kind of has the criteria of at some point you probably need to be the gold standard for your position. Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. 3,000 hits used to be the guarantee. A long career.
Now the guys are playing long careers. Yeah.
A 300 batting average used to be like, you're right there. I look at Craig Biggio and say, was he a Hall of Famer as a guy? You bet. Is it a stretch for that guy? He ain't no Ryan Sandberg. There were lots of people through the years I would have traded Craig Biggio for. Just saying. And I would have been wrong. I mean, he's a great player.
I think the one guy that's being snubbed is Jeff Kent.
Jeff Kent.
Guy arguably has some of the best numbers
yes.
of any second baseman. Played some third, played some first, but absolutely had a disdain for the media.
Yep.
And they're keeping him out.
They vote against him.
Kelly Fromme, guys, after all that happened yesterday, all you want to talk about is sports. I'm trying to keep it
light. Kelly, good point. That. So Joe Biden inaugurated yesterday. Let's get to that in a second. Let's tell you about Allen's Regular Service, 578-6300. No segue needed. You got a wet road. You needed some new tires. You weren't smart. You slid into the ditch. Blame it on your husband. Blame it on your significant other. 578-6300. That's Allen's Regular Service. They'll take care of you. They will get you back on the road, and you'll be happy. You called them the VCS company, Rocket Oilfield Services.
The only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer for all your phone and communication needs.
Surveillance, security, surround sound, all the S's.
Yeah. Fire systems.
S's.
They've got it all. All under the VCS.
Super folks.
They'll be back as our banner sponsor once we get set up in here.
Yes, we're trying to.
Hard to hang it on a window.
They are still the banner sponsor. Chesty Furniture Company, 116 West Long Lane,
101 years in business now.
Reach out to Bobby Leon. Go down, say hi to Bobby, tell him congratulations on a century in Victoria. Make a deal, 50% off still. I have not been told to quit bragging about
50% off is what we've been told.
They've got bedding, Tempur-Pedic bedding. They've got all kinds of
accoutrement.
They've got it.
I got a nice message from Bobby the other day saying thanking us for.
Did you just do? Are you going to start using like a Joe Biden stutter in your bits? Don't, Joe.
He thanked us for helping celebrate their 100 years and making it special.
There you go. It's like, hey, on behalf of Chester, you know the rest of it. I'll just do that's how Joe Biden does. You know the rest of it. Come on, one nation, the individual.
You know that thing.
You know that thing, but all created equal thing. That thing. 48 years in Congress. But
in Washington, he spent 8 years as vice president too.
Veracruz today, just a personal note from Ash and I to Leonida, Minnie. Minnie's sister passed away yesterday, and she was a fixture at Veracruz. Super nice lady. I used to joke with her endlessly about no matter what she brought me, it was always the wrong tea. I mean, I always said it was, I wanted sweet, and she'd just laugh and say, just take it, enjoy it. Super nice lady. She will absolutely be missed. So if you're in Veracruz today, be sure to tell Lee and Ida, and especially Miss Minnie Bennett, that we're sorry for their loss. I'm
glad you wore pants today, because normally behind this desk, you might not always be wearing pants.
Sometimes I have that thong on just to keep things light and airy. And today
your reflections in the window, so it's a good thing.
I look kind of thick. Does this? I'm not this big, I'm not.
That could be the YouTube.
The shirt's a medium. It's a medium, more of a schmedium.
Sausage.
Yeah. T-Lag used to tell me.
Adam Ritchie says, with Rivers' completion percentage and interceptions, I bet only 2 of those 10 kids are his.
Wow. Well put. We do that. That was good.
Somewhere.
He's been thinking about that for 8 minutes. This is live radio, Adam. You got to get in here quick. So Joe Biden, sworn in yesterday, 46th president of the United States. I watched parts of it. The media fixated on the fact that Melania Trump got on Air Force One in a black outfit and got off of it in Florida in a very nice Gucci offering, and people hammered her because the dress was $3,700, as if she doesn't have the money. She's got the money.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Trump's already got an advance on his book.
But didn't hammer AOC when she was cavorting around in $2,000 outfits and then complaining she didn't have a place to live.
Right.
A little different there.
She was a homeless bartender back in the day.
I didn't watch it. I listened to parts of it. I avoided anywhere that could have had some commentary to go along with it,
right,
because I didn't want to be jaundiced.
I couldn't avoid it. I was going into Corpus yesterday, and there was not PBS, NPR, and it was like, it was this kind of stuff constantly. It's just so refreshing to hear people talk about President Biden, and just know that just the other day we were a nation under siege of tyranny, treason, as people violently overtook our nation's capital. And just 1 week later, there's a calm, there's a serenity, there's a peace that Joe Biden brings to the table. And I was sitting there going, Joe doesn't even know where he's at. Exaggerate the right, tolerate the left. Here we go.
Adam Ritchie, so I guess the election wasn't stolen.
And I can't help, and I don't know if
I still think somebody's going to take the evidence and actually do a thorough investigation, and we might get to somewhere.
If I'm the only guy that sees this, y'all feel free to tell me. I can't tell you that the Republicans don't do the same thing, and maybe I'm just oblivious to it because I'm biased, because I'm humble enough to admit that I might be wrong, okay? But here's the deal. How can it be that the left talks about just being inclusive and that everybody should get along and that everybody should be equal, and then in the same breath, she's the first woman, she's the first Asian woman, she's the first African-American woman? Well, pick one. I mean, we say Tiger Woods is a black guy. We don't talk about all Tiger Woods' accomplishments as an Asian guy. He's a black guy.
Remember when they tried to go that Caucasian route?
Caucasian. He was part Caucasian. He was part black, part Asian. He was Caucasian. And Tiger said, look, man, I'm an African-American dude. I mean, give me a break. Why is it that Kamala, who's not even African-American, now Ash did point out that her dad ended up in Jamaica via Africa. Okay, I get it. In theory, we all go back to Africa somehow. Somehow we all end up back at some spot over there. I don't understand why the left, who chirps about inclusion and everybody being equal, feels the need to label we're all equal But here's why Kamala is superior. She's the first woman, the first black, the first Asian. We've got a transgender guy now, and we've got a gay this. Why can't they just be Americans? Why, in the same breath, when they're making laws, when they're talking about families, when they're talking about children, they don't want to mention gender. They don't want to mention anything at all. But when they're talking about how cool they are, we got a gay, black, Asian. Yeah, man, rock this world. We're so good. I don't buy it. Just be an American and move on. James Kirk says he's 6% African according to his DNA. I've seen you. Well, it ain't the 6% that jumps. Put it that way. I've seen you. You're as white a dude as I've ever met.
I listened to a good portion of that.
Thank you, Marie Day. Thank you very much.
And a couple of the things that really, what was his promise? To level with, I'm going to level with you.
Shoot you straight, Jack. We're going to get some of that out of the White House.
I mean, you haven't leveled with us.
Stop the frack, Jack.
For the entire last 12, 13 months on the campaign trail. You want to be you're all of a sudden the guy that can bring unity to this country. You were calling the sitting president a clown.
Correct. On
the debate stage.
Yeah.
You gave a eulogy at a former KKK member's funeral.
An admitted organizer for the KKK. He admitted, looking back, I made some bad choices early on.
You voted against desegregation.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, this is the guy who just spent the last 13 months on the campaign trail driving a wedge into this country every chance he got.
In the name of unity.
And all of a sudden, he's the unity guy.
Yeah. We say it here all the time. I mean, I like to think that I actually coined the phrase that the left is most easily recognizable by their hypocrisy. Because when you have a platform that's built purely on the emotion of the moment and not upon any real substance, no morals, no character, no real substance, you're going to be exposed as a hypocrite because, well, this is the way I feel. Stop right there. If you're telling me how you feel, you need to take a deep breath and really evaluate your position.
And he talked about facts being turned into lies. This is a guy who completely ignored everything that went on with his son, Hunter Biden.
He doesn't talk to Hunter Biden ever.
The New York Post, with factual information, their story was kept off of Twitter and social media. That was the lie. That they called factual information about Hunter Biden a lie. There's your lie. They twisted it. This is we were asked about gaslighting the other day. This is it. That was a great example of the gaslighting of the left and the media to the rest of this country. No, you're not seeing Hunter Biden in bed with a young minor. That's not it.
That didn't happen. My Aunt Betty chimes in and says, hey, Joe Biden's idea of unity must be just the rest of us just shut our mouths and go along with whatever he wants.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going. Is this country will be unified as long as everybody gets on the same page. And chance the chance, follows the mantra, and goes along with whatever Joe Biden wants. That's the unity. The ideals of freedom of speech, free thought, expression of thoughts, a marketplace of ideas, it's gone in this country, folks.
No doubt. There was one of the speakers yesterday made the comment that there need to be, serious regulations basically to reprogram those that didn't understand the Biden. We laugh about it. Folks, if you can watch what's happened in this country in the last 2 years, I don't even care if you put all the blame on Donald Trump. what's happened in this country in the last 2 years is all Donald Trump's fault. But if you can look at what's happened in this country in the last 2 years and say, there's no way they'd ever round you up for your political beliefs and take you to a re-education camp, then you're a fool. Because I'm telling you, the people that brought you censorship via Twitter and you, technically Section 230, and we're a private court, there's our get out of jail free card, yada, 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 all of that garbage. Bottom line was the President of the United States had a format that he had used for years, which actually built the format. It would be as if John Paul Hull, who calls our show quite often to share a different idea about athletics than me, all of a sudden we just don't take his call anymore. Oh, by the way, he's the guy that pays the bills. Sorry, Mom. Well, it's a private show, and we don't want that dissenting comment. We don't want that negativity.
But other things in that speech yesterday, and a lot of false equivalencies, and anybody with any critical thinking skills could see right through it. But
no matter your politics,
he tried to compare where we are as a country with the world wars, with the civil rights movement,
9/11.
With 9/11. He continuously referred to the crisis we're facing in this country. I mean, if you actually go back and just listen to it without seeing all the video, because the video painted a different picture. Flags everywhere,
because there were no people.
Bill Clinton sleeping.
Beautiful.
He does not look well, though, either, does he?
No, he doesn't look well. I think Bill's got a guilty conscience. He was raised right.
But if you listen to it, we're in a crisis. This country's, and the only way forward is unity. He talked about the demonization of people in this country. Yet here's a guy who for the last 13 months demonized half the country that doesn't believe in his political ideology. And he's supposed to bring us together? Unity is not a role of the federal government. I don't give a crap what you say.
No, I agree. I think what you're going to see is at some point, the Democrats or the party in charge, the party in office, has got to extend the olive branch that encourages 75 million people. Folks, this is over twice the population of Canada.
It's over twice the population of Texas.
Over twice the population of Texas. That's a fair statement. Half the country was not for Joe Biden.
Well, half of those that voted. There's still a good chunk of this country that doesn't vote because they're either just completely.
Marie Day says unity equals compliance. By the way, somebody up above very politely said, "You guys rock." I appreciate that.
I'm not,
I think
you still look at the numbers.
You're thinking.
150 million people voted for the president. 150 million others didn't vote at all.
Correct. Many of them were young.
Yeah, but the numbers still, you know what I mean, though. There's still a good chunk of this country that doesn't vote. And are they just absolutely fed up because they know their vote doesn't make a difference?
Well, that's
as we found out here with all the stacks of thousands of affidavits from people saying that they saw some irregularities and our appointed courts discounting that completely.
Yeah, TLAT points out that he wasn't sworn in at noon, and that there is a sub layer out there, folks, of deep thinking that I'm telling you. I'm not a conspiracy buff, but I'll embrace a good conspiracy to be up to speed on it. There's a faction, large faction of folks who believe that this isn't over. There's a large group of folks that believe that the election was stolen, that that everything has gone the way it's gone. There's Section 11.3 of the military code. There's this and that.
Bunch of crap.
That's comrade. That's fine. When they come for you, I'll try to get between you and those in the gray coats. Where are you going to send somebody like you?
Guantanamo.
There ain't no Siberia. They'll send you to
Alaska.
Estes Park. You just go ski.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, how about that, California?
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Let's take our break and then we'll get to that because that just, I think it's 2 points. Certainly is not putting America first like he said he wanted to, and certainly adds more division to this country.
No doubt. Huge division. Atzenhofer dealerships will unite you.
And your new car.
A new car. Reach out to Atzenhofer.com. You want a new Cadillac? Right now is a great time. What's so cool about Atzenhofer is you can go there. You can look at their inventory. You can also click and go to Cadillac and build your own Escalade. You want a black sport 4-wheel drive. Everything is blacked out with like saddle leather interior. Beautiful, beautiful car. Go to Atzenhofer.com. We're touting the website because we're trying to do our part to keep you safe from the COVID as well. Don't go to the dealership if you're not ready to buy something you see at the dealership. Go online, cut a deal, all the way through finance. You can do it. Pick it up. White Trash Services, same thing.
I bet you if you needed to, they would deliver that new car to your driveway.
Tell you what, you go buy that car online, you call me, I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. You go buy a car online at Atzenhofer.com and you say, I want those Wade and Carter clowns to bring me that car, and I'll bring it to your house. Fact. Can't wait to do it. I'll also give you a quote on insuring that vehicle. White Trash Services, 550-1826.
BJ and Scott Nelson have built a great little trash collection empire.
They will bring the trash collection to you, whether you need weekly trash service or if you need a dumpster. Or I talked to somebody the other day that has White Trash Services. They live on acreage, and there's grandpa, the family, and the kids all have homes on this property. They have one dumpster up at the front. Guess who picks it up? White Trash Services. They all have pickups. They all take their trash out. You drive it up, throw it in there on your way out the gate. White Trash picks it up.
Makes sense.
550-1826. Razor IT Solutions. We talked about JP Hull. Believe us, 99% of the stuff we believe and agree with JP Hull.
Believe me now, hear me later.
Right. It's only Aggie football we don't agree on. And he's usually right. It's not the point. When it comes to your analytics, when it comes to how your website makes money, yes, your website can make you money. Reach out to JP Hull. He'll help you study and understand why India, Russia, China, why they're trying to hack into your website. They want your data. They want your contacts. They want your
because they can sell it to those who can fraudulently charge $400 worth of Playboy charges to your credit card.
Is that what you told Cheryl happened?
That's what happened in my daughter's bank card.
All the magazines started showing up at your house, and
first
I didn't order
first clue was she never has $400 in her bank.
Right. And then, of course, Uncle Mutt's Barbecue. Today's a fine day for some lean in. Of course, I know you like the fatty.
I like the fatty.
Ah, so tasty. Brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken.
That's all the flavor is.
Something made Jester and Urbano laugh. I got that going for me. Got that. Get to Uncle Mutt's today. Cabbage, beans, green beans, coleslaw,
rice, fried sweet corn.
Uncle Mutt's rice.
Today's daily special. We'll open around 11.
You want to like just kind of dip your toe into greatness. Just go through the drive-through. You're going to cook your own chicken on the pit. It ain't going to be as good as Uncle Mutt's, but it gives you a chance to sit outdoors. Drive by and pick up a couple of quarts of Uncle Mutt's rice because you can't make it at home.
No.
I decided to cook the rice in chicken stock and maybe something else. I don't know what. I try to dissect it, and I can't do it. Dissect it? I can't do it. What did Aunt Betty say?
Biden's motto of build better is similar to globalism's reset goal.
Yeah. So build better. Build. It's all. I just don't understand. Justin liked the Playboy charges. Okay. I don't understand the thinking left. And that's not like jumbo shrimp. That's not. it's not a what do you call
Oxymoron.
it? Yeah, it's not. The thinking left. There are some very bright folks on the left side politically. Anybody who really embraces the Green New Deal and the tenets that are being purported upon America by that.
And let's
is
be honest.
just
Let's be honest. I don't think there's anybody that wishes to go back to the days of black chugging smoke out of coal burning plants.
But the marketplace won't allow that. The only people that get away with that are China and India.
And Russia. And
Your Samsung,
yeah.
Your Samsung was made in a coal chugging plant, but because you buy 65 inches for $800, you couldn't be happier. You just turn a blind eye to the fact that a 4-year-old put the volume button on that TV for 13 cents a week. You don't care about that. All you care about is getting a cheap TV.
Yeah.
But now, if an American oil worker gets put out of work because we're going to shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, yeah, baby, go with it. We got to take care of the environment. I saw it on my Samsung.
Here's case in point. First day in office, he cancels the pipeline. 11,000 jobs go with it. He was the guy that was going to bring jobs back.
American jobs, lasting jobs, $15 an hour jobs. Those guys on that pipeline are hoping to build like a government building now for $15 an hour.
Think of all the other jobs that go along with those 11,000 that are no longer there. The convenience store that supported pipeline workers along the way. All that stuff. Gone. Mark my words. America's energy independence, which for the first time we reached under Donald Trump in decades,
It's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone. We could have been importing oil from, a friendly, some would say our best friend of Canada as a country. Instead, where is it going to come from now? Now they're going to chug it across the Atlantic Ocean.
Oil prices are going up. Hide and watch. At a time when the administration is capitalizing on keeping our oil production down, our people don't get to benefit and make money from that situation. The Middle East does. And people were talking about that Trump almost started wars in the Middle East. He signed multiple peace accords over there,
I believe.
and we've had no wars, no issues.
No issues with ISIS. So we killed a couple of Iranian idiots that seemed to be the pot stirrers in the Middle East and around the world. He went over North Korea and was made fun of for talking with North Korea. Oh, he's over there with his buddy Kim Jong-un.
Straighten him out, though.
Hadn't heard a thing out of North Korea. And if there is an intertwining of two rogue despot-led nations that can wreak havoc on two pretty sensitive regions of the world, it's North Korea and Iran. Iran wants to destabilize the Middle East at all costs. North Korea wants to destabilize Asia and Japan and Korea. And those two are intertwined. The nuclear enrichment going on in Iran helps benefit North Korea. Yes, for medical purposes.
Medical uranium.
North Korea does not have the cash, the infrastructure, without selling illegally around the embargo oil to Iran. And that whole thing is intertwined, folks.
Yep.
And yet, pardons yesterday, people making a big deal of it. Just go look up, I think his name is Mark Rich, the guy that was pardoned by Bill Clinton, who made a bunch of money selling commodities to, at the time, the Soviet Union, North Korea, Iran, countries that we were not doing any business with on any legal front. He made a bunch of money selling illegal commodities and then gave a bunch of money to the Clintons.
To the big guy. Got to give money back to the big guy. See, you thought that only Joe Biden was the big guy getting money. Bill Clinton was the big guy before Biden was the big guy.
And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with the presidential pardons yesterday, all of them either. Donald Trump,
Lil Wayne got a pardon.
Lil Wayne got a pardon. Yeah,
Like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know how that
I
happened.
don't either.
So James Kerr said, "Go back."
Steve
and investigate
Bannon need to
something.
be pardoned either. There's a guy who was stealing money.
Yeah, but he was a friend of the president. That's what happened there, and that's part of being the president. So you go back, and I have to ask you. I'm not saying I'm a proponent of this. I'm not even saying I have the guts to do it. So there's my preface. What would happen every 2 weeks when I get paid? There's taxes taken out, there's withholding, there's all that stuff that adds up to a lot. What would happen if April 15th, I just didn't file an extension? I just didn't file. I just don't file. I just don't file a tax return.
Well, eventually they come after you.
Would they? 75 million of us do it? Would they? Would they come? I'm being sincere. Would they come after us if 75 million Americans literally said, we're not going to take it? What if? I'm just asking. I don't think I have the guts to do it because I'd be like,
well, now you're citing an insurrection. You can be arrested.
Well, and people laugh. And then there's people.
You're going to be impeached.
People like my friend Pete McNally would go, he shouldn't have said that. He had it coming. They took him right off the radio right there. He had no business saying that. We're just having a conversation. People are listening. I wonder if you and me are out at Garcetas Creek. We're both standing on the bridge. All right, we're going to jump. All right. 1, 2, 2. Are you going with me? What if 75 million Americans said, I ain't filing a tax return? They aren't doing what I want done, and I ain't doing it.
Bridget Nelson says, tomorrow, welcome to the Wade Show.
Brett, you'll be charged with treason. Tomorrow, welcome to the Wade Show. What's is we think this is funny, and we're joking about it. That's where we're at as a country. The fact that you are like, oh, man, I can't believe he said that.
Kelly Frommer says, by the same token, why don't all these benevolent lefties just send in more taxes? You don't have to stop at what's required of you. If it feels good, send more.
Hey, I knew a guy in Austin. This is a true story. He's a real estate guy. And he's as left as they come. And told me he bought a cabin outside of Telluride. And he told me that every year he sells homes in Hyde Park, beautiful part of Austin, stupidly priced. It's 2,300-foot bungalow, $695. And he sells these hugely expensive homes. And every year he says, when I get to a certain income, I just stop. Because after that, 40% of it's going to the government anyway, and I just go to Telluride. Boy, that's an American spirit. That's productive.
I think it's smart. I knew a welder that used to do the same thing. He'd work his butt off for 7 months of the year and take the last 4 months off so he could hunt and
enjoy he could work and just give that money to the government to do all these things that he wants done.
Well, stats show Americans are the most generous,
no doubt,
giving people on the planet.
They
give more to charity.
Oh, absolutely.
Than any other nation per capita on the planet.
Well, don't look any further than me, you, and Brother Gary just walked in. Look at the base that we have.
And Republicans are more giving than Democrats.
And it's got nothing, no doubt about it. Conservative folks are more generous giving stuff, and the stats do bear that out. You'll also find that those conservative folks are also giving to their church first. And then if I made a call right now, I know this. If Trish Hastings called and said, man, I'm feeding more people than ever, and I need another $1,000 this week to buy potatoes, the listeners of this program would raise $1,000 between now and 8 o'clock. I know it. We're very cautious when we pull that trigger because you people can't help yourselves. You are so generous and you give so much. Why is it that the government feels like they have to take it from us?
We're getting to a point now with how we're just printing money and pulling it out of the Federal Reserve for all these stimulus and relief packages that our income tax revenue has to be almost irrelevant at this
point. Our income tax revenue won't fund the interest on the debt, so we're not really paying for the government anyway.
Steve Kidder says George H.W. Bush pardoned all the Iran-Contra participants. Yeah, and I think all the soldiers that fought for the Confederates in the Civil War at one time were pardoned.
Steve Kidder,
It's become a reckless use of presidential power in my mind.
no doubt. And don't you feel though? Well, but equally as misused as Joe Biden coming in and having a list of 17 things yesterday that Donald Trump. Oh well, we're going right back to that Paris Clean Air Accord. We're going right back and talking to our NATO friends.
That one is interesting, the Paris Clean Air Accord, because supposedly he was going to get into he was going to sign a legally binding contract that ties us to that thing. And if I understand it correctly, he has no authority to do that without going through the Senate. So if he did it, that would be the first constitutional challenge to Joe Biden. And then we would see if the Supreme Court actually has any chutzpah and the balls to stand up to Joe Biden, because and somebody correct me, who's probably a better constitutionalist than I am, but I don't believe the president can put us into a legally binding pact of that sort.
Don't you think Steve Kidder pointed out that George H.W. Bush did a lot of Iran-Contra stuff? By the way, does anybody now that the reflective period is over, they make you wait 5 years, Brother G, before you can put somebody in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So you have time to see their career in context, to see it. Does it last? Do people still say, boy, he reminds me of Philip Rivers? You do that to see how they bear the test of time.
That's right.
George H.W. Bush had been the head of the CIA. He was the vice president under Ronald Reagan during Iran-Contra. Don't you think, as you look back, even as a Texan, even as a Republican, didn't George H.W. Bush just know a little too much about where all the bodies were buried? And weren't there some bodies out there that knew a little too much about Poppy?
Here's the thing with the Iran-Contra. You had no choice but to pardon them. They're not doing these things of their own volition to help the CIA. There's
Oliver North was a good soldier. He's benefited from it. I mean, he's made $1 gazillion writing books and being on TV, but he could have buried Bush. I'm surprised Bush
tell me all day long, but there's no way that goes down without certain channels being opened and blind eyes being turned to allow that stuff to go on.
James Kerr tells Adam Ritchie, chutzpah. It's Yiddish. It's from the man that's 6% African.
Well, because he had called it chutzpah.
Chutzpah. Let's get the brother. Let's take one more break. I don't know which one. Brother,
that one
there.
You
had one job, man. You had one.
That one there, brother, right there.
Okay, that one wasn't my job.
All you had to do was get this top over here.
Go out there
in pieces.
Oh, they fell.
15
pieces.
You'll give us the idea here of exactly what happened. Real quick, the Gray Barn, your next party. Brother G's going to have a help him over there. You go loosen some stuff. I can handle this. You go help him. The brother man's got it. I don't want him bent over. He get scoliosis. Man's 147 years old. You kidding me? He's like Patty Welder. He's the guy that told him to name it Patty Welder. He went to school with Patty. The Gray Barn, 920-6803. The Gray Barn. You have a party idea. You have something you want done. You have an atmosphere you want to create for a sales meeting. How much nicer would it be for your staff to walk into a meeting and there actually be something creative done on your part instead of saying, hey, what have you done for me this week? What if you actually created an atmosphere that made people want to go to work for you and your company? Reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803. Went Services can power that. They can do it with a generator if the power goes out. They can do it with solar panels. They can help you help yourself. They've helped Ash. They've been out to the 2-4, said, well, let's don't worry. What do you think?
Still on?
Oh, yeah. I think so. Maybe our video ended.
No.
That's okay, because you can listen to us on 95.9 FM. Yeah, there's no excuse.
And you can check us out on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
I know what happened. We got into Biden.
We talked about there, Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg cut us off. That's a true story. That's what happens. Facebook cuts us off. Wind Services, they'll help you with your electrical needs, solar panels, battery backups, anything, plumbing connections. You want to put in a generator that runs on natural gas.
All the YouTubers coming over.
Yeah, please, YouTube, join us. Great job. Thanks for joining over. We got 691 of them, Brother G.
That's right.
And which mic is this?
That one there, yep.
Make sure the Brother Man can be heard. And then USA Concrete Coatings.
578 home, the number to call if you want to turn a drab old slab into something shiny and new.
I'm not talking about your wife. I'm not talking about that drab old slab.
I'm not talking about the husband.
Get her a gym membership. You need to get somebody to fill in the cracks. I'm not talking about your bride now. Let's talk about your
We're
sidewalk.
not talking about our countertop over there.
No. Yeah, we get USA Concrete Coatings coming here and put a polyurethane finish on
We
that.
might need to.
Antimicrobial, antibacterial.
And
we can make
cut
it
resistant.
We can make it.
Someone's going to slice a hand.
Oh,
on that.
that's work
It's gonna
comp.
be
When I
black
get
everywhere.
cut on that countertop,
I saw that yesterday. Woo.
the people of Texas versus Magic 95.9. Wow.
Brother man, how are you,
Sir,
sir?
I'm doing great.
Brother,
guys.
did you witness this go down?
I did not, but I saw the pieces.
What
being put
happened,
back
sir?
together.
What happened?
They were moving it from the old studio to the new studio, and it didn't quite make it. It fell and busted. And
Do you have any idea what did this happen like over there? Did it happen
on
here?
the way? On the way.
Fell over like in the pickup?
On the way. Getting it up here.
Well, you know, the moving company should have insurance, and they should be picking that up.
We did that ourselves, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure.
feel bad for them, you know, and it's nice up here, isn't it, boy?
Yes,
about
sir.
the view?
Very
How
nice.
about the view?
You got a view. Ash and I just kind of
We got to look at it through the
We're
through
tough.
the
Well,
YouTube.
that's okay. We'll get it arranged. Where
The
we can
sun
have-
is coming up. You know, there's a.
Oh,
It's yes, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I just brought a couple of things here. Dorothy O'Connor put it out there. You can't show it now, but that's T-Rex, and he needs help. So
What a handsome man.
yeah, that is really a good-looking little buddy.
Oh,
isn't
he
it?
looks
I
great.
love that. It caught my eye, and I thought, Brent, you and I
He
just
looks
wanna
like
see that.
Bentley. He looks like our Bentley.
And,
He's heartworm positive, so he needs some treatment. They have a heartworm sponsorship for $175.
There you go.
I'm going to be making the plea to help a couple of dogs that I know that are out there that
I'm doing it.
couple of puppies. I'm working to get them to where they are comfortable around humans because these two dogs were dumped
Yes, sir.
as young pups. They've managed to fend for themselves, but I need to get them vetted, male and a female. I'm going to start a little fundraising campaign so I can get all that done and want them to go to good homes, but they need to be, they're not aggressive at all.
Yes.
They do come to me now when I show up to where
That's
they
what we
are,
work on. We try.
and we're trying, but the issue with they're still not used to human touch, but they're young, and I think they'll be great dogs, but my fear is if animal control gets involved, they're going to be unadoptable because they don't have human touch, and that's no
Right.
fault of animal control.
They just don't
It's
have
fault
the
of-
means.
They don't have the means to keep them there and to socialize them, and it's the fault of idiots who dumped these two dogs.
Well, our prayers are with them. We're trying to get the word out.
We'll get the word
Check
out.
with Dorothy O'Connor and Dr. Pat, help those buddies out. Do want to mention girls softball registration regulatory one more time. Peter Piper's Pizza. Got to get these organizations back. In
Absolutely.
Coffee and Donuts was a success. We brought it up last week on the show for the VFW veterans, and all veterans are invited. Free coffee and donuts every Wednesday, 8:30 to 10. Hamburger night, 5 to 8 over there.
Mention something for you tomorrow, Friday, 7 to 9
Yes, sir.
a.m. So after the show, you can go to the Liberty Coffee House
Okay.
and have
Coffee with the judge.
coffee with the judge.
I like that.
County Judge Ben Zeller, who by all accounts is doing yeoman's work, says, hey, I want feedback from the community.
So now we might catch him before we come over here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
7 to 9.
We love the judge and good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, boys, quick hits. What's the highest ever amount of pay for a baseball card? Did you hear that one last week?
So wait, before you tell us, is it a Honus Wagner card?
No.
Is it a
it's
shoeless
Yankee-
Joe?
Yankee
Babe Ruth.
1952
Matt.
card. Mickey Mantle. Yes, sir.
Really? How much?
It's the highest ever. His 1952 card, $5.2 million went for last weekend.
Wow. Had to be his rookie card.
1952. That's early in his career.
Real early. I know in
Are they still in the
1956.
minors then?
No, like in 1956 was the year that he like went off. He hit something ridiculous like.
And they've got 7 of them left out there, and the last few have gone for over $2 million or $1 million. This one was 5.2. The second highest now was Mike Trout's rookie card, $3.9 million.
They
Rookie
print
card.
so many cards now.
Yeah.
The scarcity
They're
of
going
that is,
for it.
wow.
Got one for the Longhorn right over here. You ready?
Ugh.
David Ash. Remember 2014 played for quarterback for the University of Texas. He got signed in Australia with the Wausau Mets of the NFL Europe League. Texas quarterback 2014. One of our boys at West High School, who is an assistant coach for the football team, will be heading that way. He will be the head coach, John Hill, and he No, it's a David Ash was signed, so he's back out of retirement.
Is that right?
David Ash.
Wow.
Had no idea that league was
I
still
did not know
existed.
that league still was there.
NFL Europe, you got it now.
NFL Europe and Australia. That makes all sorts of sense. No wonder this country is as uneducated as we are, because now we've just put Australia into Europe.
Brought to you by Qantas.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a long way for a road game.
Well, we have leagues and we go to Canada.
Right.
We go all over. I got another one, boys. The top two NFL free agents. You know, the first one would be Dallas Cowboy boy.
Dak.
Tony Romo?
Number, he's coming out of retirement. Dak Prescott, top ranked free agent. Second, offensive tackle for San Francisco. Trent Williams.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know.
San Francisco don't care.
So help me with this.
Cowboys need him probably more than they need Dak.
Probably.
Are you thinking that Jerry Jones, in my opinion, sight unseen now, if he puts the franchise on Dak, which gives him a guaranteed $37 million, hasn't he done his share? Hasn't he been nice enough?
And one more year of free agent, it won't be. He'll never do it.
Well, here's the thing. From what I understand with the whole Deshaun Watson situation, he has a no movement clause, right?
Okay.
So you can't. He's going to have to
He has to
agree to be
agree to it.
traded. Jerry, get involved.
Would you want Deshaun Watson in Dallas?
He's going to.
Healthy.
He's not happy.
Healthy. I think he's an upgrade to Dak.
Period. Talent for
You
talent.
would take him?
Okay.
I would.
Are they the same age? Watson's older,
25,
correct?
something like that.
I'm negligible. I think. I don't know.
About 25.
Yeah, you know, it would be. You can't discount this. It would be like Jerry Jones to bring in Dak just to kind of rub it in Houston's face. You know, that would be like something Jerry would do.
And it's so Houston, I'm still on top.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, Dak, there's going to be a lot of question marks. Dak with the injury that he suffered.
That's
Well,
what
will
I'm
he
saying.
be prone to
He's still top
injury
man,
again?
so
Will he
he's number
be?
one free agent.
Wow.
All right,
You gotta wonder.
pick-
Cowboys right now, though, I'll be honest. I think if you upgrade that offensive line, Andy Dalton could be a serviceable enough starter
Still-
with a
he's
better
still good
defense and a better offensive line. Because the problem is, even a healthy Dak who's not hurt, he's not leading you to the Super Bowl. They've got so many holes on the defensive side of that football team that they can't win a
With Amari
championship.
Cooper, with Gallup, with CeeDee Lamb,
You got
with
three wins.
Schultz, do you
Ezekiel
take
Elliott.
$37.5 million and try to talk Phillip Rivers out of retiring?
37.
You got $37.5 million.
There you go.
Hey, we're going to put the franchise tag on Phillip Rivers.
We're gonna put the
He
ending
may come out of
tag.
retirement. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think
That's
so.
a possibility.
We're gonna put the ending tag on the show.
Okay, how about the two picks real quick? Bucks and Pack. The Bucks and Packers.
I got to take
Packers.
the Packers. The Packers.
It's at home, right?
It's at home. Packers are home and Bills and Chiefs at home. Both are field goal favorites.
You know, to that one, to me, it depends if Mahomes plays. If
I've heard
Mahomes
he's
doesn't
playing.
play,
I've heard he's
I think the
playing.
Bills
I heard
win
he's
it.
playing.
Yeah, I'll take
I'm going
Mahomes.
Chiefs.
I'll take Chiefs.
Chiefs and Pack, we're going for the number one seed.
If Mahomes plays, Chiefs.
The Chiefs and the Packers that's almost like the Raiders and the Chiefs. I mean, they hate each
Doesn't
other.
that get us back to Super Bowl I?
The Raiders.
Chiefs and Packers?
We gotta watch.
Wasn't that the very first Super Bowl?
Was it?
Or the first NFL, AFL championship, wasn't it?
Hank Stram. Hank Stram.
There you go.
It's all coming full circle.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
Bye, folks.
Brother G, we love you,
Love
sir.
you all.
Folks, stay tuned. You get more.